Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so you sent over some pretty exciting news, fresh out of Panem, basically.
Yeah, the first big casting announcements for the Hunger Games prequel, Sunrise on the Reaping.
Exactly. So today, we're going to dig into that. Who's in, what roles they're playing, and maybe more importantly, what these choices sort of hint at for the film itself, the early games.
For sure, and we're basing this on a recent report that laid out these details.
Right. Okay, let's get into it.
Absolutely. I mean, the first thing that really jumps out is this mix, isn't it? Established names and some really interesting picks for these key characters.
Totally. So let's start with maybe the biggest confirmation. Kelvin Harrison Jr.
Yes. He's definitely in.
Yeah, officially on board Sunrise on the Reaping. And you might know his voice, actually. He was Scar in the recent Mufasa, the Lion King.
Right.
But now he's stepping into a very different role. BT.
BT Latier. Yeah, the tech whiz, the victor from the 34th Games. Super smart, kind of eccentric.
And played so well by Jeffrey Wright in the later films, obviously.
Exactly. Which is what makes this interesting, right? Casting someone like Harrison Jr., who's got some real presence, for the prequel role, it makes you think we're getting more than just, a quick flashback or something superficial about his youth.
That's what I was thinking. Does this mean we get like a proper look at BD's origins?
Yeah.
Maybe how he developed that genius back in District 3?
Could be. Or maybe even glimpses of the 34th Games. We've only ever heard about those.
What kind of environment back then do you think would have shaped someone like him in that specific era?
Well, that's a really good question. I mean, the early games, they were different, weren't they? The Capitol's control, the whole spectacle, it was still kind of evolving.
Right. Less polished, maybe?
Maybe. Perhaps BD's tech skills were almost a reaction to that, a way to beat a more, basic kind of brutality in the arena.
Interesting.
His win clearly mattered long-term, given his role later.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this casting, it hints we might see what really made him tick, what formed that strategic, cynical outlook he has later.
Okay. And sticking with big names, there's this buzz around Glenn Close potentially joining.
Yes, the report mentioned the legendary Glenn Close is in talks. Key phrase there.
Right. In talks. So not a done deal. Definitely need to stress that.
Absolutely. But just the fact that they're considering an actress like her, I mean, that says a lot about the scale they're aiming for with this prequel.
Oh, totally. If she signs on, that just elevates everything, doesn't it? Adds this instant weight.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder who she could play.
Exactly. With her range, Capitol official, maybe someone pulling strings behind the scenes of the early games.
Or even someone powerful in one of the districts. Maybe. With a hidden motive.
Could be anything, really. You think they might expand a character from the book, even a smaller one, to fit her?
That's a great thought. Hard to say without knowing the specifics, but
Yeah.
maybe someone connected to the game makers. Someone watching how the cruelty evolves.
Whatever the role, if it happens, she'd bring something really formidable. No doubt about that.
Okay, let's shift gears. A character we know very well, but much younger. Hamish Abernathy.
Right, and this is fascinating. They've cast Joseph Zada as young Hamish.
Young Hamish. So, reminder for everyone, this is the same guy who mentors Katniss, decades later. Drunk, cynical, but ultimately brilliant Hamish.
But this is way before that. The film is set 24 years before Katniss's games.
So this is Hamish probably not long after his own win, right?
Yeah.
The 50th Games.
Mm.
The second quarter quell. Still dealing with all that trauma.
Precisely. And the casting news also gave us Whitney Peake as Lenore Dove Baird.
Who is identified as his girlfriend at this time.
Yeah, which just opens up this whole other side to Hamish we've never seen.
How do you think seeing him with Lenore might, explain the guy we meet later? The isolated, broken mentor.
Well, his win in the quell and what happened afterwards to the people he cared about, that clearly destroyed him. Seeing him with Lenore could show us who he was before all that.
What he lost.
Exactly. What he lost and maybe why he built those walls up so high. And yeah, for anyone confused about the timeline, this is much